Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Excellency to Kiai Haji Hasan Mutawakil Allah SHMM, respectable to Dr. Abdul Aziz Wahab BAMAG as the Director of Zainul Hasan Genggong University, honorable to Mr. Ferry Ferdianto as a lecturer of extensive reading, and unforgettable to my parents. So because of them, I can be given easy in calling for science until now. Here, I am Nadia Nurwahyuni, a student of English Education Department, where I will read in second chapter with the title When to Use Female Nouns. When to use female nouns. Today's topic is the use of feminine nouns such as actress and comedians. This day, people often see such terms as sexist, but it's also common to hear at least some of them. So, what exactly are the modern rules for using such terms? Actually, this is not a matter of grammar. It's about writing to minimize the potential for readers to draw conclusions you don't want to convey. Other languages have more feminine nouns. It could be worse. In some languages, most nouns have different forms for different sexes. For example, in Spanish, a male lawyer is an abogado and a female lawyer is an abogado. Furthermore, in some languages, even verbs can have different form depending on the sex of their subject. In Hebrew, ran means so for masculine subjects, while rata means so for feminine subjects. In Mandarin Chinese, a man can marry a woman, but a woman can only be married to a man. Even in English, there used to be more female-specific nouns than there are now. Centuries ago, people used no obsolete nouns such as teachers, soldiers, and militaries. The fact that English has mostly abandoned female-specific nouns like this is probably part of the reason that the remaining ones tend to attract attention. Paired nouns are okay. Sometimes male and female specific nouns don't suggest problematic message. Pairs such as prince and princess, duke and duchess, abbot and abbess are unobjectionable. In these pairs, the male-specific terms never refers to both males and females, even though it might be convenient to have a word to refer to any child of a king or queen prince can only mean a king or queen's son. So, if the sexes are treated equally, each one having its own term, the female specific term is probably okay. Some gender-neutral nouns such as flight attendants have become standard. The next easiest case are those where our gender-neutral term has become popular. In recent decades, gender-neutral terms such as firefighter, police officer, mail courier, and flight attendant have gained currency. Definitely use this. Problems arise when a noun exists to call out only one sex. The troublesome cases are when we have one term that can refer to either sex and another that refers only to women. Take the word order. It can refer to men or women in a sentence such as our agency represents many authors. But if you see order to refer to writers of either sex and the exclusively feminine authors to refer others. You now have a way of referring specifically to female authors, but no way of referring specifically to male authors. The the implication is that most authors are male, and that is worth pointing out when one of them is not. As the Cambridge Grammar of the English language says, the marked term suggests some difference in status and may imply lower standard or achievement. Is there ever a good reason to write female doctor? This issue comes up even when there are no gender-specific terms. For example, doctor can be either masculine or feminine. Shelley MC Connell Jeanette, a linguist at Cornell University, who specializes in language and gender advice. If you write female doctor, then ask yourself why you want to emphasize that a certain doctor is a woman. Do you write male doctor in similar contexts? Her point is that section in society makes it easy to send message in our word choice that we don't intend to send. Make sure your words are relevant. The guideline suggested in Genders Modern American Usage and the Merriam-Webster Dictionary of English Usage is to avoid using a gender-specific noun unless sex is relevant to the discussion. Usually, it is not. Sex doesn't typically matter when you are talking about doctors or others, for example. But what about when sex is relevant? Another case in point, actress. Male and female actors usually play different kinds of roles, so it's useful for people in show business to make this distinction. If actors save them from having to use female actors, why not use it? Unfortunately, even if you follow this guideline of using gender-neutral nouns from in most cases, and gender-specific nouns only when sex is relevant, the problem remains. We will end up using female-specific terms to talk specifically about women. But where's the analogous male-specific term? If there is not one, you may still be sending a message that a woman doing some job is pricing news. And indeed, although there is sometimes a good reason to use the word actress, that hasn't stopped it from acquiring negative connotation, as we are told by a contact in the industry. In cases like this, where linguistic change is ongoing, the usage of the audience you're writing for can be a good guide. If a certain community free to do likewise. If they insist on actor across the board, you may want to follow suit. Summary: if there is a gender-neutral term in general use it. If there is not, but the masculine and feminine nouns each stay in their own territory, then use them. Be careful when one of them can refer to either sex. Another term refers only to women, and no term refers only to men. In this case, avoid referring to a person's sex if possible. and if it's not carefully assess the usage of your audience. But remember that these rules are just shortcut. What matters is getting across the messages you want to send and trying to block those you don't. Okay, that's all from me. The last I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.